Just how many animals do we have here at VW Family Farm? I'm gonna do my best to attempt to give you a complete overview of how many animals we have here at VW Family Farm and what is the purpose of all of them. Let's first start with pigs. Y'all know our favorite breed of pigs is Old Spots, so let's start with them. So there is Henry, our newest breeder, and then we've got Short Tail and Big Mama, our two sows. And then right over there you can see Dot. He's probably already eaten. They've been fed a little bit ago. He's probably eaten. They love to chill and just waller around in the sunshine. These are our two breeding pairs. So you may be thinking, why are they all together? Well, I know this is probably gonna bum some of you out. It bummed us out. We've been expecting piglets literally any time, and just through circumstances and experiments and trial and error, we have found that we are afraid that Dot possibly might be sterile. This is really one of those things that's difficult to talk about on YouTube because I know you guys are all attached to him, as we are as well, and we have no idea yet what we're gonna do about it, but it's looking more and more that way. So the short answer is they're all together because at this point we just need those two sows to get bred by one of those two boars. Henry is new here as well. And so they're all together. Hopefully we'll have babies. It takes about 3 months, 3 weeks, and 3 days for pigs to, from the time they conceive to have a litter. We caught at least Short Tail and Heath the other day. So you can see we're almost 4 months from a litter with her. And we have big piglets right now that we're growing out that will be fed out in just a few months. We are way behind schedule on that because of this. We thought they were bred all this time. If you recall, we lost Big Daddy back when it was hot, and we were hoping to get a litter that would be some of his last daughters and sons born here on our farm. So possibly we might keep some of them, but we'll just have to see if that happens as well. So speaking of Old Spot feeders, let me show you them. So if you're keeping track, that's 4 big breeders and 7 little Old Spots. So we're up to 11. And now we're back here. We have a pen at the woods. We have it just hot wired, 2 hot wires. And we've raised a couple batches now back here. They do really well. There's no big corral or anything, way to get them up, but we have found this breed, although we love the Old Spots and they're practical for us to raise breeders. We have a show pig farm that calls us periodically and sells us their cull pigs at a decent price, and we have found a lot of joy in raising these as well. They're not something practical probably that we would breed on our homestead. We tried and raised up a big nice sow, and if you missed that video, I'll link it here. They have a stress gene that when we tried to breed her, she wound up dying on us, and she was a big, beautiful pig. We had raised her. She would have made a lot of fantastic meat for a family, and just felt pretty terrible that she wound up dying on us, and it was just such a waste. So I think we've given up the dream of raising these for breeders. We were at one time gonna cross these with our Old Spots and see how that turned out. But I think we're just gonna, when we get the opportunity, raise some batches of them here and there to fill in the gaps when things like with our Old Spots happen where we don't have enough piglets. But these things, like I said, we have no corral back here, but they come up like a dream. They will follow you like a puppy dog, almost too much. You're gonna see as I go in to feed them, you can't almost get them off of you. But I'm gonna go in there, and if you're keeping count, there's 9 of them. And then they stick their nasty noses on you. Sorry about the wind, but I want to take you guys in here and show you just how big these really are. These are actually going to be processed. Sorry about the wild hair too, that's ridiculous. Whew. But these are actually going to be processed here in about 3 weeks, I think. So they are gonna make some fantastic pork for people. Really excited about that. They look really, really good. Anytime we bring pigs in, this is something for you guys to know too. We go through a little sick spell with them at the very beginning where they just have to acclimate to our farm and to our weather. But these just bounced right back and they're doing fantastic. They've grown out super well. So count those 9 in and we're at 20. I've got 2 more pigs to show you and then that completes the pigs. So that is the Mangalitsa mama. We're waiting on her to have piglets literally any time. Gerard and this mama both came from Roots and Refuge Farm. Probably not gonna stay in the Mangalitsas. We're gonna stick with the ones that are a little bit bigger. I'm gonna sneak around and see if I can find Gerard. He gets a little grumpy sometimes, so I don't really wanna just be talking super loud. There he is, right up in there. I'm gonna see if I can sneak over there and show y'all. He's gotten big. So I don't know if y'all can see him smacking his jaws. If you have pigs and they start smacking their jaws like that, they're telling you to back up. They don't like you being there, and they're telling you to get out of there. So I did. So now I'm taking a walk around the outside of the fence. So that's 22 pigs total. And I wanted to make one more note before you're like, what? Gerard's mean? What in the world? Gerard is not mean. Gerard is a boar. And anytime you have male animals that you keep for breeding, and I don't care if that is pigs, if you keep a bull to breed cows, or even if that is something like an unfixed male dog, you need to be aware. They go through times where they're grumpy. That's just part of it. So no matter how tame you think they are, how much of a pet you think they are, just be aware, be observant. And if they're doing things to ask you to back up, back off a little bit, give them a little space. Don't push them to that point where they do something aggressive and cross a line that then they become aggressive all the time. Gerard was in no way mean just then. He was just sending the signals like, you snuck up on me, what are you doing in here? I don't like it. And so I just went over and went around the fence, and I would encourage you to do the same. Teach your kids to do the same. Don't corner an animal that you've already made nervous. One faithful farm dog. $14 ducks and 1 guard goose. 3 or 4 or sometimes even 5 barn cats, depending on the day. 3 beautiful turkeys. So let me pause here for a second. I said I would tell you the purpose of each animal as we go along, and I have not done that very well. So some of the animals are obvious, like we're about to go check the cows. Those are obvious. Those are raised for beef and milk and things like that. We have a herd of both out of those. But the things like the ducks, for one, we love having them. They bring a lot of pleasure and joy swimming around the pond. They stay around really well. They don't venture off. They stay near the pond. And they do provide us eggs. Some of them are meat ducks. However, our intentions were never really to eat this first generation of meat ducks. It was to use those for breeders to produce eggs that we can then incubate and have those for meat ducks in the future. So we're not quite there yet. The duck operation is still growing, and part of the time, if we get busy with other things, we just really just let them do their thing. That's the honest truth. The turkeys, they raised a lot of young this year. We sold all our turkeys except those 2 hens and that tom. They raised a lot of turkeys that then we were able to process. When we processed our broad-breasted whites, they went to the processor as well. A lot smaller, but they were a heritage breed, and I just really like having them around. They sat on eggs and raised young multiple times this year, so that was really cool. And now we're out here in the barn. So y'all just saw these rabbits in the last video, and so their purpose is gonna be for meat, but also let me show you something else. This right here is like gold. These are just old plastic tanks that someone was throwing away, and just anything would work that you can put under their cages. The breeders are in cages. We plan to finish out the young in tractors on grass, but the breeders are up off the ground and we're catching their manure. That's gonna be awesome for the garden this next spring. And then the last thing before we go back to the cows is the laying hens. So I'm gonna guesstimate we probably have about 150 chickens at this point, and that means hens and roosters. And if you look very close, we have way too many roosters. So that's something we need to do something about. We need to get some out and sell them to people who are looking for roosters, process some or something for the crock pot or something. But if you have too many roosters, that will definitely get your hens looking pretty poor. All right, last species. Lane and I are in the old farm truck. I love this thing, do you?
Yeah.
It's pretty awesome.
It's pretty fun to drive.
Is it?
Yeah.
So Lane has learned to drive a standard driving this thing. It's got its quirks, but we love this truck. So happy to have it. But we are actually going to get some hay and go feed. We've got, what do we have, Lane? 4 different pens of cows, or 3? 4, I guess, with the bulls.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So I guess we got 4 pens of cows. They don't all need hay today, but I'm going to take you around and show you them anyway. So this is our main herd. They are back behind our house, a couple miles actually, and this is our biggest herd by far. This is where most of our mamas are that we're keeping. They checked bred last week when we ultrasounded, or they're open and they're gonna be part of our fall herd. That's something I'll talk to y'all more about in the future on a cattle video, probably in the next couple weeks. But we just had a set of twins, and then we had another calf back here in the last few days. So that takes us up to 14 calves back here. We've weaned off the biggest one, so all of these 14 are pretty small, and then 44 mama cows, 36 beef cows, and 8 milk cows. And then we're gonna be increasing our herd of mama cows, and I'll tell you about that in just a minute. So that is our pen of weaned calves, and there's 5 cows mixed in there that are gonna be turned into grass-fed ground beef. They're just not cows that we're gonna keep in our program. The calves, there's 44 of them. We're gonna actually raise those up for beef. Some of them are gonna be ready right after the first of the year. There's a group of 10 in there that's pretty good size, and then the rest of them will be for later on. But they're growing out fantastic and looking great. We got Bruce, our South Pole bull, and then we have got Iron Man, who is actually a black Hereford. Generally, you see Herefords that are red with the white face. He is just a black Hereford, so he's black with the white face. Love him, love them both. They're great bulls. They'll be going back in here in probably a month or so. We're gonna AI some that I'm about to take you over and show you right now, and then we will put them in as what you call cleanup. So if anyone does not take to the AIing, they will breed them, and that will become our fall calving herd. So they'll be calving in fall of 22. So we can add that group to our count. That is 49 more cows. So we are at the final pen of cows. Let's go check them out. So this is a group, I gotta watch my back. This is a group of very friendly heifers. We are actually about to AI these to South Pole, mainly South Pole, and then we are gonna throw in some Wagyu as well. I'm gonna try my hand at AIing for the first time since I took a class on how to do it. Really excited about that. There's 23 of these over here if you're keeping count. So that takes our total of head of cattle to 130 at this moment. Really excited about that, and it takes our total on animals, period, to 330 mouths to feed. Now that does not even include all the bees and other things that we have. That's simply animals, 330. That is a lot. I cannot believe that we have gotten here. We actually have plans to expand next year. We've done really good on our meat business this year, and so we're gonna actually raise more this next year. We really need more pigs. We'll raise more meat chickens and turkeys, and just keep increasing our numbers on our herd of cattle. There's lots of changes coming for our cattle herd. Like I mentioned earlier in this video, we're going to be taking a small group along with these heifers, a small group of our cows, and having a fall calving herd. So if you're gonna do that, that means you start breeding around here in about December. So in the next month, we're gonna be AIing, putting bulls back in, all the different things. I'm gonna tell you guys all about that. So if that's something you need to implement, like if you have cows that miss getting bred for the spring herd, you can move them to a fall herd. Maybe you buy them and they're not in sync with your program and you need to have a fall herd, all those different things. But that wraps up today. I am being swarmed by cows. They're hungry, they're wanting some hay. Thanks for going around with me today. The farm is doing great. I just love it. It's really living a dream to me. I hope you're living your dream. If you're not, make steps today towards that, because tomorrow's gonna come. Whether you make steps today to better yourself and better your situation, or whether you don't, tomorrow's gonna come either way. So take a step today. Bless somebody if you get a chance. I'll see you guys on the next one. Thanks for watching, and God bless.